This is lesson 5. I will use addition and subtraction to solve multi-step word problems involving length, mass, and capacity. All right, so in this final lesson of Module 5, we're going to be using our skills to convert length, mass, and capacity units to solve some application problems. And notice that it says that these are going to be multi-step application problems. So these are going to have more than one step. They may involve addition or subtraction, and we're going to have to convert some units. All right, so let's take a look at our very first problem. It says model each problem with the tape diagram, solve and answer with a statement. So again, these are application problems. So we are going to be reading, drawing, writing a word sentence, and writing a number sentence. So let's begin by reading this problem. The potatoes Beth bought weighed 3 kilograms, 420 grams. Her onions weighed 1,050 grams less than the potatoes. How much do the potatoes and onions weigh together? Okay, so when I'm reading through this problem, I'm hearing some comparison words. Like I heard it say that the onions weighed 1,050 grams less than the potatoes. So whenever I draw my tape diagram, I'm going to draw two separate tape diagrams. I'm going to start with a P for the potatoes, and then I'm going to have an O for onions. Now it tells me exactly how much the potatoes weigh. It says 3 kilograms, so I'm going to go ahead and label this, 3 kilograms and 420 grams. It just tells me that. But then it says that the onions weigh less. So that means that this tape diagram I'm going to draw smaller. Now it tells me exactly how much less. It says that the space between here and the rest of the potatoes is going to be this much. It is 1,050 grams less. Now the question wants to know, how much do the potatoes and onions weigh together? So I've got to solve a multi-step problem. This is what I'm trying to figure out. I want to know the total, but before I can figure out the total, I've got to figure out how much these potatoes weigh. So since they weigh less than this amount, what do you think I should do with these two numbers? Well, hopefully you said subtract. I'm going to go ahead and change these kilograms and grams all to grams. So I'm going to make this 3,420 grams minus 1,050 grams. And I'm just going to find the difference here really quickly. So I can subtract in the ones, but I cannot subtract in the tens. So I'm going to go ahead and decompose and make this 3 hundreds and 12 tens. I'm ready in the hundreds and I'm ready in the thousands. So I'm just going to go ahead and subtract. I have 0, 7, 3, and 2. So I have 2,370 grams. So that's how much the potatoes weigh, 2,370 grams. So now I'm ready to answer this question. How much do the potatoes and onions weigh together? So what do you think I need to do with the weight of the potatoes and the weight of the onions to figure out how much they weigh together? Well, we need to add them, right? Well, I've already converted the potatoes to grams, so I'm just going to use that same amount, 3,420 grams, and then the onions weigh 2,370 grams. I want you to go ahead and complete this problem by solving this addition sentence, and then I want you to write your answer as a statement. Okay, so hopefully you took the time to pause the video and go ahead and add this together. I ended up with 5,790 grams, and then I went back to answer the question, how much do the potatoes and onions weigh together? The potatoes and onions weigh 5 kilograms, 790 grams together. If you did not convert this back to kilograms and grams and left it 5,790 grams, that would be correct too. All right, let's look at our second problem. Adele let out 18 meters and 46 centimeters of string to fly her kite. She then let out 13 meters, 78 centimeters more before reeling back in 590 centimeters. How long was her string after reeling it in? Well, this reminds me a lot of the problem that you guys did in Zerm today. It's talking about letting out string and bringing string back in. So let's think about this for a minute. So first of all, she let out 18 meters, 46 centimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and write that right here. So she let out 18 meters, 46 centimeters. Okay, then she let out some more. Next, she let out 13 meters 578 centimeters. So this is how much she let out. So her string is getting longer. Then she reeled it back in 590 centimeters. So she reeled it back in 590 centimeters, and we want to know how long it was after she reeled it back in. So this is what we're trying to figure out. How much string was left out after she reeled it back in? So this is a multi-step problem. What do you think that we should do first? Well, I'm thinking I'd like to go ahead and figure out how long her string was before she reeled it back in. So I'm going to change these from meters to centimeters to all centimeters. So this will be 1,846 centimeters, 1,378 centimeters. And I'm going to add that together, okay? If you feel like you know what to do with the rest of this problem, go ahead and pause the video and solve it and then come back and see if we got the same answer. If you want to stay with me, go ahead and pause the video and just solve this addition problem and then come back and I'll tell you how to finish the rest of the problem. Okay, so I found my sum to be 3,224 centimeters. So this is how long her string was. Then she reeled it back in. So what do I need to do with this 590 centimeters to figure out how much string was left out? Well, I'm going to subtract this, right? So I've got 3,224 minus 590. I want you to go ahead and find the difference in these two numbers and then write your answer as a statement. Let's come back and check our answers together and see if we got the same answer. Okay, so you can see that I ended up with 2,634 centimeters after I subtracted. So I answered the question, how long was her string after reeling it in? Adele's string was 26 meters, 34 centimeters. Again, if you said 2,634 centimeters, that would be correct also. All right, so if you're feeling pretty confident and you'd like to go ahead and try problem number 3 by yourself, go ahead and pause the video and do it. If you'd like for me to help you set it up, go ahead and stay with me and we'll at least draw our tape diagram together. All right, so we're going to begin by reading. Cheyenne's barrel contained 6 liters, 775 milliliters of paint. She poured in 1 liter, 118 milliliters more. The first day, Cheyenne used 2 liters, 125 milliliters of paint. At the end of the second day, there were 1,769 milliliters of paint remaining in the barrel. How much paint did Cheyenne use on the second day? Okay, there are a lot of numbers in this. We're just going to break it down and take it one part at a time. So Cheyenne's barrel contained 6 liters, 775 milliliters of paint. So I'm going to start right there. So I'm going to start with my tape diagram, and I'm going to put how much paint was in her barrel to begin with. She had 6 liters, 775 milliliters. Then it said she poured in 1 liter, 118 milliliters more. So this would be how much was in the barrel to begin with, okay? Then it says, after the first day, Cheyenne used 2 liters, 125 milliliters of paint. Okay, so we don't know how much is left in the barrel, but we just know that she used this much. So I'm going to put this down here at the end. This is how much she used. 2 liters, 125 milliliters of paint. So we don't know what's left in the barrel. We just know that she took this much out. All right, then it says that at the end of the second day, we do know how much was left in the barrel. We know that there was 1,769 milliliters left in the barrel, and we want to know how much paint did she use on the second day. So we want to know how much did she take out. So I'm going to call this P for paint. So now I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but let's think about this for a minute. This is how much paint was in the barrel. This was how much she took out. We don't know how much was left after the first day. We just know that she used this much. But we do know at the end of the second day, this is how much was left, but we want to figure out how much she used. So where should we begin? Well, I can't really figure out this until I figure out this. So first of all, I've got to figure out how much paint was in this barrel altogether. So I'm going to start by taking these liters and milliliters and converting them to milliliters. So I've got 6,000 775 milliliters plus 1,118 milliliters. I'm going to go ahead and find a total here. I'd like for you to pause the video and figure out the sum when you add these two numbers together. Okay, so I ended up with 7,893 milliliters. So that's how much there was in the barrel to begin with. Now I want to figure out how much she used on the first day. So I need to take out this part here that she used. So if I'm going to take away, what kind of math am I going to use? I'm going to use subtraction, right? So I'm going to take 7,893 milliliters and I'm going to subtract 2,125 milliliters to find the difference. I'd like for you to find the difference all by yourself and then let's come back and compare. Okay, so I ended up with 5,768 milliliters. So that's how much paint was left after the first day, 5,768 milliliters. So when she began her second day, she had 5,768, but at the end of the day, she had 1,769. So how am I going to figure out how much she used? Well, I'm going to subtract one more time, right? I'm going to take 5,768 milliliters, and I'm going to subtract 1,769 milliliters. I want you to find the difference, and then I want you to write the answer as a statement, and then we'll come back and compare answers. Okay, so when I went to find the difference, you can see that I had to decompose 3 different times. I ended up with 18 ones, 15 tens, 16 hundreds, and 4 thousands. And when I found the difference, I ended up with 3,999 milliliters. So when I wrote my statement, I wrote Cheyenne used 3 liters, 999 milliliters of paint on the second day. Okay, I know that your problem set has 3 more problems, a 4, 5, and a 6, but we're going to go ahead and stop here. If you are enjoying this process and you have some additional time and you want to go ahead and do these 3 problems, feel free to do them and bring them to me and I will be happy to check them for you. Otherwise, I'd like for you to go ahead and try to do your exit ticket all by yourself.